So let's get into our Bachelor in Paradise episode 2 recap.
Okay. I'm actually excited for this.
Me too. It was a good episode. I think that this season's actually going to be quite interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
For someone who's never watched it before, this is speaking from a completely third-party individual who has absolutely no... I forgot the line. But what I'm trying to say is, as someone who's watching it for the first time, it doesn't seem like anybody's trying to take a risk. What I've heard...
That was the purpose of the bonfire.
Right, but what I've heard, obviously, but like before, the producers haven't had to step in like that and recreate something to stir up the pot. It's just you show up, people are trying to figure out what they want, they're going shopping around, and like Chick said, everyone's just scared to be the villain, to be the bad guy, to make a wrong move, to not ask permission, but that's what's good TV. And everybody is just scared right now, it seems like. Everyone's playing it safe.
I mean, yeah, if I was in that situation, I would try everything in my power to not look like an idiot.
Right, you don't want to.
Well, because you know how editing is. You can cut anything
but that's
up.
what these shows are, though. They cast dumb people because it's entertainment. They cast people who don't think about, oh, am I going to be the villain? They casted smart people this time, which is why it's not as interesting. And they had to stir the pot with the bonfire.
I guess. So this episode picked up where we left off from episode 1, where Olivia and Will were having a little conversation about Will being like, I'm sorry I didn't talk to you before my date. And Olivia's like, yeah. And then she's all bitter about it. Which, like, I get being bitter, but she's taking it too far this episode. And she's just really annoying. I was really hoping she would go home, but unfortunately, we have her for another week. Thanks, Peter. Anyways, it is honestly sad and kind of embarrassing how obsessed Will is with Kylie. After one day of knowing her, she's like, he's obsessed. This poor guy.
It's not fun to watch, because if you're watching this 1 hour episode or hour and a half, whatever it is, it seems like this is happening. His obsession is developing over a few days. But in real time, it's less than 24 hours.
It's like 48 hours.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Or even
after
that
one date
is insane. Like, how is he?
And on their date,
they
were like, what it seemed like on their first date.
It very surface level.
Yeah, very surface level. Not a lot of chemistry. I don't really think that would have worked out anyways, especially because you know how obsessed she is with Avon, and that's all she could talk about.
It was not going to work out ever.
I mean, Olivia was right in the end.
Yes.
That Will was just a placeholder.
Obviously.
Yeah.
She needed a rose just in case he didn't come down.
But he came down at the perfect time.
Well, obviously. The producers are going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to see him that desperate. And then, do you want to talk about Mercedes? How she just saved her life in the show by saying, here, kid.
Yeah,
cuddle me.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'll take your rose, but you can come over here.
And they kissed. It was just that part was awkward and sad.
It was so desperate.
But to go quick, we'll touch on that more. But to go back a little bit, talking about how Avon is coming down. Remember when Will and Blake were having a conversation, and Blake was just like, yeah, man, if I was in your position, I would be shitting my pants.
Yeah, and Will seemed very confident. But Blake basically told him, you're screwed.
You're screwed.
You better find somebody else, because she's leaving, man.
Yeah. And if anybody did a perfect job of trying to persuade Avon to not go on a date with Kylie, it was Olivia for sure. Her being like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Kylie and Will are an item. That was hilarious, just to try to get him to take her on the date.
She wasn't
and Kylie
lying.
being like, I think she's gonna try to sabotage me. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, she wasn't lying.
Yeah, that part was funny, honestly.
It was the truth.
But anyways, to continue, Kylie gets picked naturally.
Obviously.
And I mean, what do you think that the producers tried to get Olivia to be picked for that date?
Yes,
I don't think that Avon really would have wanted to talk to Olivia if it weren't for the producers.
Here's what I think happened behind the scenes. Avon walks, or before this happens, Avon and the producers talk. They say, here's who's down there already. and they say, pretend like you don't know. But there's two girls there, one who's super into you. We know of what's going on because everyone knows about it. We know that you guys have talked before. It's fine. There's another girl named Olivia. We want you to talk to her. Give her 5 minutes of your time. Show some interest.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that's what they said. Because they didn't say, go talk to the other 4 girls who don't have any other connection.
Yeah, what about Brooklyn? What about Kat? I mean, not that I like Kat, but I mean...
Didn't give them the time of day. He pulled 2 women aside.
Yeah.
And
like, thanks for talking to me, everybody. Olivia, Kylie especially.
Right. He only talked to those 2. The editing made it seem like he talked to everybody briefly for like maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 2 separate conversations with Olivia and the other girl.
Yeah.
And the chances of that happening on its own are so low. He's not going to be like, oh, Olivia, who's been stirring up all the drama and who the girl I'm interested in is also trying to get back at her.
Right.
Like, that doesn't just happen. The producers told him to go talk to her specifically.
Yeah. And I feel like the whole situation with Olivia and Will really set the expectations, unfortunately, with everybody else, that it's too scared to step on each other's toes, even though it was episode 2, possibly day 2 or 3 at this point, and Kylie feeling obligated to talk to Will before her date just because...
Who cares?
Will didn't do that to Olivia. And the same thing happened with, what's his name, Sean and Rachel. Like, him feeling bad, like, oh, I should have talked to Rachel about my interest in Jess before the bonfire. Like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's paradise. Oh, and also with, what's his name, Aaron B. talking to Eliza and talking to Mercedes, having a kiss with Mercedes, and Eliza being all butthurt about it. It's just, like, it's unrealistic. It is day 2, people. This is what this show is about. It is about dating around. And this is... I said this on my notes. People on Love Island know how to date in a short time. People on Bachelor in Paradise, they get their feelings hurt too quick.
Yeah.
1000%.
Jumping every ship you get.
Yeah.
It's for entertainment purposes. Like, they're playing too scared. It's not exciting to watch.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into Avon and Kylie's date.
Okay.
So they had their first date on a boat.
On a boat.
And he was struggling to get off the cork in the wine bottle, and as soon as I saw that, I told Jesse, I was like, new ick unlocked. That's so cringy. He was really struggling. He was trying to like keep a conversation while he was really struggling to do it. Broke off half the cork. Was really struggling to get the rest of it out. I was like, ugh, that's rough. Yeah. But I mean, I guess their date went really well.
Seemed like it.
And I don't know, it just seemed like kind of awkward. But I mean, it's their first time talking in person.
Mm-hmm.
But
can't really put too much expectation on it.
Yeah, they didn't show the date for as long as I thought they were going to.
They gave a brief.
Only the boat stuff.
Segment.
I thought that they were going to show them like on like their dinner date portion or something, but they never went back to that, I guess. Maybe it must not have been that interesting.
It probably just got cut by the editors. I'm sure they filmed it. But they probably just cut it out because it was just a bunch of boring convo. Yeah, well, I mean... Because it was probably real conversation.
Kylie was making comments like they had the best day ever, and she was saying things. What did she say? She said, our babies will be beautiful. I can see myself waking up to him every day. That's wild.
Yeah, that was
that's wild. You just met the man. And also calling her my man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, drama.
It's been like 2 hours.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah. But like we said, they cut out the majority of that.
Probably.
Of that date. And back at the beach, our thoughts were that we like Jess and Blake a lot. I feel like they have good chemistry. They're both so sweet.
That seems like everybody's consensus.
Yeah, I think that they might make it.
Probably.
They're giving me Joe and Serena vibes, and I love Grocery Store Joe and Serena. Love them. This is when Aaron B. and Eliza had their little tiff as well, and everyone's freaking out because Eliza's all crying about how she found out that Aaron B. kissed Mercedes the night before, and now he's talking to her as if that isn't the point.
Suck it up.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid. Oh, and then Hannah B comes down as well. What do you think about her appearance? You were confused because you didn't know who that was.
I had no idea who she was. I just thought she was a normal person. But then the first thing you said to me, you were like, well, she's not in a bathing suit, so that means she's not here to play.
Yeah.
Which, as someone who's never watched this show at all, it made totally sense. So I just immediately exiled her and was like, okay, she's not here to date. Mm-hmm. But then they kept it on for like 10 minutes.
For too long.
Trying to figure out.
And, like, I get it because they don't have their phones, they don't have anything, but by the time they were down at the beach, she was engaged.
Yeah, but the producers could not have predicted that. She was single at that time.
Yeah.
And the chances that she was going to get engaged, which is a big milestone. You can't be like, oh, she's definitely going to get engaged soon. The chances of that happening are so low, so it just sucks for the producers because they had this. I think it would have been a well-executed bit if she actually was not engaged.
Yeah. And if she showed up in a bathing suit.
Because
if she showed up in a bathing suit, that would have confirmed everybody's suspicions.
That's what they should have done. I don't know why they let her go down in a dress. They should have put her in a bathing suit and done that.
That would have really confused people.
It would have, because it confused the cast for sure. Mm-hmm. But it didn't confuse the audience because they know that she's engaged now.
Right.
So it just sucks for the producers because of it would have been a well executed bit.
Yeah.
But the fact that she got engaged, what are the chances of that happening 2 months after she films it?
Right. But yeah, after wasting everybody's time pulling people to talk to them, she announces that she will be hosting a little bonfire for everyone to be answering some burning questions, which I think is a really good idea, especially because, like we said earlier, people are playing it too safe.
Yeah.
There's not enough drama right now, and the perfect way to stir the pot before the rose ceremony was having that bonfire. And I hope that they do that again, not again as in like within this season, but next season I hope that they keep that up, but maybe midway through.
Yeah, I don't think this is something you can do multiple times
within a season.
Within a season, because then
right.
it's gonna mess up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is maybe it's what they want, but they also want real connection. It seems like so. The bonfires are only. I think it was just a push.
Something that I wish that they would also do, like what Love Island does, is they have like a movie night, and
what is that?
They will take clips of everyone like spilling their thoughts on
from
other
the
people.
confessionals?
Yeah, from
That's
like confessionals.
So smart.
And like their conversations with other people on the beach.
That's so smart.
They should be doing that. Like that would really stir the pot. Like they should be doing that mid-season. Like this bonfire thing was a fine thing, but then doing like a movie night, like what Love Island does, would be such a good idea.
Yeah, instead of doing another bonfire, they just do a movie night.
Right.
And that would be great.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
We cut to the bonfire scene, and I just loved how absolutely unhinged some of these questions were. One of my favorites was, if you could connect with anybody else on the beach, who would it be? With people who are in more serious connections in the first few days.
Yep.
They asked that to who? They asked it to
Blake and Jess. Because Blake said...
Did he? Oh, no. Hannah B was like, are you still open to meeting other people? And that made Jess so sad.
But
I get it.
But do you think Jess would have said the same thing? She didn't get the answer. She didn't get that question.
Maybe. She probably would have said the same thing.
Right, so how could she be sad?
Well, I mean, probably because this is probably the most mature guy that she's probably going to be with. And she probably likes her connection a lot. If you like your connection a lot, which he does, he said that he wouldn't want to ruin anything that he has with Jess.
I think he gave a great answer.
Yeah.
Didn't want to ruin anything.
I agree.
But he's still open.
He gave the most PG answer that he could.
I would have given the same answer.
But someone that had that question, I think it was Sean, and that's when he said that he would be down to connect with Jess in front of Rachel. And I was like, oh. And... who else got that question? Why am I blanking on every single couple? Brayden and Kat.
Yeah. She said she was waiting for Tanner.
Yeah. Tanner and Tyler Norris.
That's hilarious.
Which I'm so excited for Tyler Norris. I know you don't know who that is yet, but he was one of my favorite people from Rachel's season, Rachel the Bachelorette. That's on the beach.
Yep.
So that's one of Rachel's exes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if they're going to have a little conversation.
Maybe.
But I already know that another person, I forget his name, but he went home pretty early in Rachel and Gabby's season, who will be coming down to the beach. I think he was like a race car driver, and he got the first impression rose from Rachel on their season, and I think he's coming down to the beach, and I think that they are going to hit it off again. And then Mr. Ken, Sean, is going to be kicked to the curb, and he's probably going to be pretty sad about it. But other questions that I liked was Kylie being asked who's the better kisser, Avon or Will, in front of Will.
Yeah, but that was obvious. If anything, it's a good question because it only confirmed that Will was out for himself. He needed that. If she said him,
that was funny though.
He would have thought he had a chance still.
Right.
It was good.
And then Olivia being asked if you could send someone home right now, who would it be? Obviously, she was gonna say Kylie, but the way that she said it was so catty to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was, she was going in on her too much, and I feel like there's not really like a girl code there. It's day one, and you guys didn't like each other to begin with.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just a different type of situation. After the bonfire, Kylie has a conversation with Will finally, since as soon as the bonfire started, that's when Kylie and Avon got on their date. So as soon as it finished, they had a conversation, and I guess Will said in his confessional that he was falling in love with her, which I think is craziness.
That's
but
insane.
I'm glad that she had that conversation with him, just to say thanks for our time together.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy. And then he just breaks apart, an absolute mess during the cocktail party, crying into Mercedes' arms. And
not her arms.
Right. Yeah, you're right. He was all up in her boobs.
He was a big baby.
He's such a baby. But, I mean, he's just a softie.
You can't show that, though, on TV.
Yeah, it was a little,
national television. That you could be.
Yeah, I love myself an emotional man.
You can be emotional, but not like that.
Yeah,
that's gonna bring.
He was crying to the point his forehead vein was popping out. Poor guy.
That's bad.
Yeah, but we were talking during the episode, and we were trying to say like what our pre-rose ceremony predictions are going to be. I said Will and Mercedes.
I'm surprised. I didn't see that coming.
I saw that coming. I was like, I just feel like Mercedes is gonna stay, and who would be with her? And I think it would only be Will, since he had a rose.
Yeah, I was surprised. I knew it was gonna. I mean, obviously, it was gonna be one of those four girls. It was just who was desperate enough to like really just take lower their pride and just comfort Will, who's just being used for a rose so clearly. Doesn't seem like she's interested. She just seems. I
guess she could be, but I think that she's probably waiting for somebody else to come down.
I think she's waiting for someone else to come down. She felt bad. It was a golden opportunity. I didn't think she had to kiss him. That was weird.
Yeah. In such an emotional state, I probably wouldn't.
No,
because that would have turned me off.
He's so messed up emotionally. You can't make it. We don't want that either.
No, I don't need anybody crying in my arms.
It felt so pity.
It was. The other couple the other guy that I wasn't sure who he was gonna pick was Peter, and he was having that little argument with Aaron.
Yes.
Do you remember that with Sam?
I think he's gonna be gone next week, probably.
Yeah, I think so too. It just doesn't seem like his scene, but I thought that Peter and Brooklyn were gonna be together.
Maybe. I don't know.
At the end of the ceremony, but he ended up choosing. Who did he end up choosing? He ended up choosing Olivia.
Can we talk about that? Because I have a theory that.
Go ahead.
First of all, when did we ever see them talk?
Literally never.
Never. Here's what I think happened. Producers came up to him in the confessional. They said, "You clearly aren't connecting with anybody here, but you have a rose. There are 4 girls still here. We'll give you an extra $10K if you give your rose to Olivia, and we'll give you a better edit. We'll give you a better edit, because right now you don't seem too good."
No.
And he's probably up there. He's fine, but he plays a douchebag.
Yeah.
So like, I guarantee the producer said, "Pick Olivia. We'll give you a good edit or a decent edit because right now you look like crap, and we'll give you an extra some hush money on top of it. Because they wanted Olivia. If the producers could pick any one of those 4 girls, they're picking Olivia every single day.
Yeah.
The other ones, they're too boring. They'd get any screen time at all the first
didn't
episode.
like Kat. But you liked Greer.
I liked Greer. I thought she was...
I wish Greer stayed. I didn't really see her too much on Zach's season, so I would have liked to see a little more of her.
Yeah, I wanted to see her develop a little bit. But she didn't seem like she wanted to try hard enough.
Well, she was doing push-ups
That's all she did.
On... Who was it, even?
Peter.
Aaron or Peter?
Where, Peter.
Yeah.
Like, she tried, but, like, she's just like... She's like, She tried.
Yeah.
Like, Mercedes tried. That's what trying is.
That's who was trying.
If Greer did that to Peter, I think she would have stayed. But producers wanted Olivia.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was...
I think they paid him off.
Definitely the case. But, yeah, just to kind of end our recap, these are the couples coming into next week. We'll see what happens. Brayden and Kat, not loving them. Blake and Jess, love them. Aaron, B, and Eliza, to me, makes sense. Will and Mercedes, that'll be over soon. Sean and Rachel, over soon. Rachel's doing some charity work with that one. Avon and Kylie, obviously, they probably won't make it out in the real world, though I don't think that they're together right now. Aaron S. and Sam could make sense. And Peter and Olivia.
And that's it for Bachelor in Paradise.
That's it for Bachelor in Paradise recap.